What's up, YouTube? This is Big D and Shade.
Yo!
And we are back after our long hiatus. We're going to be doing the preseason shows for winter of 2016. And this is our video for December of 2015.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about 40 or so new shows coming out, and we're going to tell you the ones that we like the best, that we're anticipating
Excited
the most.
for,
Yeah.
wanting to see. Good stuff.
Yeah, so the first one on my list, I'm gonna go ahead and bump it to the beginning one because it's something that I've not been really used to, and this is probably the first show that's this type that I'm actually excited to see, and it is Ajin. Yeah, this is a totally CG anime, and most of the time I don't prefer those shows because of the quality and the quality of the animation, the movement, the just the art direction in the show usually stands out. Like, usually if they try to blend it together, it stands out a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
And if it's totally CG, then usually the quality is not up there. But over the last two seasons, there's been this one show from Ufotable, and what was it called? It's
I know it's God Eater.
Yes, God Eater. There we go.
There you go. Haha! I remembered one. That almost never happens.
It's God Eater.
Right there.
There's a lot of CG in that show, but they stylize their animation so much that the 2D super stylized animation mixed in with the stylized 3D actually blends together really, really well. And that's actually one show that I really like this season.
Ufotable can pull it off, I guess. I really didn't get much into it because, again, I don't like the CG animation things. But this is being done by Polygon Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not 100% sure they're going to be up for the task, because from the looks of it, I'm kind of looking at their stuff right now, it doesn't really look like they've done a whole lot, and I don't think anyone's really been like CG inspired stuff, so
yeah. They've done Knights of Sidonia, and I guess with this show, both trailers like really intrigued me. Mm-hmm. But the only thing is, I saw the trailer for Knights of Sidonia, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks awesome. And then I didn't watch it. And as far as, I think because of Knights of Sidonia, I'm not sure if there was a TV show. I'm pretty sure there was, and it was available for streaming. But I know for Ajin, I'm definitely going to be watching out for that. And if Ajin, is good, then I'll definitely go back to Knights of Sidonia, because both of these trailers really intrigue me. So I look forward to checking this show out.
I'm still up in the air on this. I think I'm gonna have to have you check it out first and let me know what you think about it and if it's worth a watch. Because I already have a good list going right now, and a few of them I'm kind of iffy on. But I don't think I want to give it a shot until I know at least that because the storyline interested me. It seemed like a really cool storyline.
Yeah.
They don't usually mess around with the whole, I think I've only seen like one or two that, unless it was like for some reason like an immortal vampire or an immortal god or some other mythical creature, but just a straight up immortal. They usually don't mess with that a whole lot, and I was kind of curious what they were going to do with it, but then I saw the trailer for it and saw that it was CG, and I'm like, oh no,
yeah.
I don't want the CG.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not really
get that one though.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the story is going to entail. The synopsis for it is kind of vague. It
is, but it's got enough in it to make me at least curious about it.
Yeah. So they're saying that basically the price of immortality can be a horrible surprise, and from the trailer everything looks like super violent and crazy.
Well, it didn't seem like the price of immortality. It was the fact that they found out they were immortal, and it looks like they found, like, one kid found out he was immortal because he got hit by a truck, which would have killed him, but he ended up like some weird black stuff over encompassed him and looked like it was about to like it was healing him or something, and everyone was freaking out. And yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this one a lot, even though it's a totally CG show. So I do want to say that CG is making its way into being not so jarring. So
I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So, anyways, for me, I'll go with a new one because I have a couple old ones that I'm curious about seeing. But this one I'm on the fence about, but I'm gonna give it a shot, see what it's gonna be about. Dagashi Kashi. It looked really fun. Looked really funny. It's about basically a father who runs a candy shop, and his son, he wanted to leave it to his son, but his son wants to be a manga artist and doesn't want anything to do with it. And then a girl by the name of Shidari Hotaru? Yeah, Hotaru? Comes from a famous sweets company and wants to have the father join in with the company. And he agrees, but only if she can convince his son to take over the family business. I'm like, that sounds like hilariousness will ensue.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to it. The animation looked pretty good too. I didn't kind of like that.
Everybody has crazy looking eyes.
Yeah, they got that like everyone looks like they're either like really surprised or really tired.
Like high on caffeine or sugar, since they're in a candy shop. I don't know. There's like one character who, like, everybody's pupils are like so tiny and their eyes are like gigantic.
Oh, there's been a few of them. Like the girl, she had some normal look. The girl with the purple hair, she looked like she had some normal ones. But I mean, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like, it intrigued me. The storyline seemed like it'd be really funny, and the characters looked kind of cool. And I like that idea, seeing where they would go with it. So I'll at least give it a shot. I'm on the fence about it. It's not something I'm overly excited about, but hey, at least it looks like it could be good. So I'll give it a shot.
All right. Next show I have is I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the part twos. The first one I have is Snow White and the Red Hair season 2.
Yeah, so you watched the first one on that one. I didn't catch that one, so.
Yes, and I haven't finished it. I'm over halfway through, and I'm really liking it. If from what I can tell, the synopsis was last time, it was this one girl with really like vibrant red hair that everybody's amazed with because it's not a common hair color.
It's like, it's just hair! Leave her alone!
Yeah, and she was an herbalist in one city, and then, well, not city, one town, and then, or kingdom? And the prince...
She was an herbalist one place.
Yeah, and the prince wanted her to be his concubine, so he basically tries to force her into being that, and then her hair was long at the beginning, and she kind of like cut off her ponytail and like left it in her windowsill and just skipped town and went over into the next in the next kingdom town, whatever. And then when she gets there, somebody tries to kidnap her because of her hair, and then the prince of that town runs across her and saves her. And it's not like a damsel in distress kind of save. Like, she was 90% free, but she couldn't get completely free, and he kind of just helped her finish getting free. And usually she gets into a lot of situations like that where somebody's either harassing her or she's in just this like awkward situation, and she can get mostly free, but then the prince always comes and like helps her finish getting free. And it was a really cool difference that you'd see with female characters like in those
sorts of situations.
Yeah. And
See, I would just be like, I would be getting some coal and just like putting it all on my hair to make it black and be like, there, no one will never know.
Yeah. So she ended up being an actual court herbalist in the new town with the prince that she became friends with, and it is a romance. They're not like super duper lovey dovey, but
They have their moments.
Yeah, it's like I think I said it before, where it's like she's like, I like you, I want to spend time with you, but I'm trying to do my own thing, become an herbalist, and learn all this kind of stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm the prince, I gotta take care of my country and everything, but I do want to spend time with you. And if you're in any danger, I will come and help you.
Yeah.
Finish getting free.
I will help you finish doing what you were already in the process of doing anyway. So
I don't know what season 2 is gonna entail, but I'm looking forward to it because I really like most of the first season. So looking forward to it.
Well, you got that one. I guess I'll go with one that I've been watching for season 2 that I'm excited for, but you haven't watched the season 1 for, which is Assassination Classroom.
Yeah.
I am loving this series. It is an awesome series. Those of you who haven't watched season 1, I highly recommend it. It is about, for what we know, it hasn't really been fully explained, but a alien organism who blew up most of the moon and now has threatened to blow up Earth unless this classroom of misfits is able to kill him. And the trick about that is he travels at like Mach 3 or Mach 4 or something. Actually, no, Mach 20. That's right. Yeah. That's what it was. I just actually read that just now. So I'm like, yeah. So he's freaking fast. But he gives them ammunition that's specifically designed to just kill and hurt him. And he always he encourages them to attack him out of nowhere and try to surprise him and do tactics. But at the same time, this is all going on. He is actually this class is a group of outcasts. They're misfits. The school has designated them as the bad kids, and they're not even in the school building itself. They're actually way in the country away from the school, and it's supposed to be looked down as a punishment from the rest of school to be put into this classroom. And
also, one thing about that class, there was one episode, I can't remember, it was probably around 4 or something like that, where some of the kids are they're not all horrible.
No, they're not. I'm gonna say they're misfits only because certain times there's situations that spiraled out of their control. They had no, maybe one of them got injured or was sick during a certain time and they missed a bunch of their tests, so their grades started to drop. And it's some of it was just circumstantial. It's not even their fault. It just ended up happening that way.
Yeah, and the school, they basically drew this line. It's they might have a list of all the students or whatever, and they just drew this line, and they said basically anybody who falls below this line is going to be sent off to this building that's way out in the boonies and everything.
Yeah,
and we're going to treat them horribly to kind of put up the students that are above that line.
And then not only to put up the students above that line, but also to make sure that the students that are above that line don't drop below that line.
Yeah, and it's kind of
it's
like a crappy motivation. They're you don't want to be like them.
Yeah,
you're great, and it's a crappy way.
Oh yeah, so I really like the fact that he actually is encouraging them, and he makes them to their potential that they actually have, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And just to see some of the things that the kids do, I mean, I'm watching it, and when they succeed, I'm like, yeah, show them, yeah, woo!
Yeah.
I'm cheering them along. So it's got a really good pace. It's got a really good story. But this is, I think, the last half of the school year, and they were told that if they could not kill him by the end of the school year, he was going to blow up the Earth.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this is going to be the final season for it, unless something else occurs. But the way it's gearing up for, I mean, it's really good. I highly recommend anyone else who out there is interested in it at all to go ahead and start watching, because if you haven't watched the first season, go for it and catch up so you're ready prepared for the second, because it's going to be great.
Cool. Alright, so the next one I have is another continuation, and it is Durarara Season 2 Part 3. So, this show has been going on for a long time now.
It really has. And it's not so much that it's been going on for a long time, it just feels that way because they keep continuing and skipping seasons, but because they just skip one season in between and continue on after the next one, you're just like, haven't we been doing this for a while now?
Yeah, because like between the first season, first part of the first core came out, and this core, there's been 120 new like completely new shows that have come out, and it's you kind of forget what's going on. You're like, oh yeah, them.
Yeah,
they're not done yet. But I don't know. The first part of the season, first core, I was excited. They were kind of reminding you of who the characters were and everything, and then they were introducing the new seeds for the story that's gonna happen. Yeah. And then in the second core, the beginning of it felt like it was spinning its wheels, because they kind of, for the first couple episodes, they kind of hopped around to different people during the same time of when one event happened. And then after that, they kind of started weaving in all these other characters they introduced. They weaved them into the big web of story that was already there. Yeah. And then now it's just this big steamroller of story heading forward. And I don't think I'm going to watch this weekly. I think I'm going to wait till it's almost over and then just watch it all the way through, because it's been going on for so long. Yeah. So
I agree, and I'm debating even whether I even want to watch this one. I mean, I know we're like, this should be the end, but I'm almost debating on just letting you watch it, and then just if you go, okay, it finished, I'll be like, all right, I'll watch it just to finish it up. Because I mean, I feel like I should finish it, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, we've been going at this for so long.
Yeah. So.
And like they introduced some new and interesting characters, but then like some of the older characters don't get nearly as much airtime as the ones that I liked, and I'm like,
yeah. And some characters that you did like, they're starting to change, and you're like, I don't really like where you're going. So
yeah, like the main guy.
Yeah, so
don't like where he's going. I'm like, good lord, dude, you were little dweeby, quirky kind of guy, and it was like I could go with you, I'm there with you, but then like you're just going all sorts of just wrong now.
Yeah, and I feel like if we were watching this in all in one shot, then it would be good, because you're like, oh, so he's this person. You're like, oh no, he's slowly changing into this, and then now the finale.
Yeah, but because you have that huge gap in between, it feels like it's like jarring, because you're like, wait, why is he like that now? I remember him like this.
Yeah,
you know, the little subtleties that you would probably catch when you were watching it all the way through. You can't catch them now.
Yeah.
So no, I got you. I'm with you on that.
But so third part is about to start. Hopefully, it's a great finale. I remember being excited for the first season, and how there's like three big groups fighting against each other, and you end up finding out that the leaders of all three groups are friends, and you're like, oh my god. And now this one, it's complicated.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
This is not one that, unless you've been following it since the inception of it in the beginning. Unless you've been following it like that, it's hard to even commentate on it, because the minute you do, if you haven't watched every single thing up until that point, you hear a lot of people are going to be like, wait, what? How did that happen? Who is this person?
Yeah. So I'd say if you haven't started it now would be a good time to start, because there's about 50 episodes out, and then the next 12 will come weekly, and it'll be a nice flowing story. But with those 2 gaps of 3 months each, it's the story's kind of broken up, and I'm kind of I don't know. I got a lot of other stuff I'd rather watch that I'm like really excited about. So I'll wait till the end of the season to knock the rest of this one out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one of the new ones that I'm excited about, because it seems like it will be kind of definitely interesting, is this one's another long title one here. Let's see. Subarashii Sekai no Shukufuku. Whoa. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Somewhere in the comments, someone yell at me for pronouncing that wrong, but by all means. A lot of the ones I'm seeing for this season, at least the ones I picked, are a lot of fantasy ones, but this one looks really interesting and cool. It almost seems like it kind of takes those aspects of, what is it? Log Horizon and Overlord, where somebody, and almost, No Game, No Life.
Okay.
Where it was almost like a game, but then it's like an alternate world. So, basic storyline from this is a boy who's a shut-in, diehard fan of games, anime, and manga, gets into a traffic accident, and his life should end, but instead he wakes up to see a beautiful girl who introduces herself as a goddess and says, "Hey, I have some good news. Would you like to go to an alternate world? And you may only bring one thing with you that you like." So, and obviously he does, and he's transported into this world, this fantasy world of great adventure and demon kings and just awesomeness and amazingness that would be anyone's dream as far as a fantasy, Anyone out there who has ever lived their life and just been like, man, I want to be able to just go around and see like magic and people carrying swords. Have you ever went to a Renaissance festival and went, this looks cool, I wish I could live my life like that? Kind of seems like that's going to be what this kind of is. But it's this whole world that's centered around it, and it seems really cool. The animations looks really nice. It's done by one that most people, I guess, don't really like, from what Big D was telling me. The studio is Studio Dean.
Yeah.
But I like them, and I think they can do some really cool stuff, and I'm really hopeful as far as it looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. Good fight scenes, some little in the trailer they had little bits of little like comedy in it. Some of them might go a little overboard, but it still looked kind of cool and awesome. So, and then the fights looked really nice. A lot of good things happening there, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. But if anyone out there who's been watching us regularly, you probably could guess by now, I'm a pretty big fantasy anime fan in general. So, most of the times when those things come out, I'm like, oh goody, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So,
I actually like Studio Dean too. They've done what is it? Higurashi, and they did the first adaptation for the Fate series. So those are 2 really big shows that I watched when I first started watching anime, like years and years ago. Oh yeah. So as far as the studio goes, I don't mind. Looking at the trailer, animation looks nice. As far as theme, basically person being trapped, like being transported to a fantasy world. There's a lot of shows that are starting to do that, and this show looks interesting enough, but I wouldn't really say I'm excited for it. But I'm not tired of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay. I mean,
it's like everyone's like little like what if and kind of fantasy of their own kind of thing of going, that it would be kind of cool to just get transported into another world where like all these kind of cool things that we see with magic and dragons and sword fights and mythical creatures and whatnot actually exist. Hey,
because let's see, we got one of the very first shows I started watching, Inuyasha, kind of the same thing. Then you have Sword Art Online, which basically started like the resurgence of this genre. Then we got Gate, we got Overlord, so we got a bunch, and each one of them had their own different feels. And an Outbreak Company, which I really, really liked.
And Log Horizon.
Yes, definitely that one too. And then No Game, No Life. So yeah, there's a bunch with this style of subgenre, I guess, or fantasy genre in general, that I do like, and from the trailer, I just see regular guy in fantasy world, so I'm looking to see what the characters are like. If the characters are great, then I'm all for the show. But other than that, it's because there's so many shows that are like that recently. I'm like, oh, okay, it's another one of those. So I'm looking forward to the characters. I like the studio, so looking forward to it. Let's see. So the next one I have, I'm gonna go with another season 2 and the same genre, Gate season 2. So.
Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah. The last
because they ended it on such a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're done. I'm like, wait. And when you said like it was over, I had to like remember and be like, wait, how did it end? Because it didn't feel like it ended. I'm like, wait, we were gonna do stuff. This was there was stuff going on. Why are we ending?
Yep. So with Gate season 2, I know the last thing that happened was that the Dark Elf was asking for help from people, and everybody was like, we can't. And I kind of felt bad for her because basically the person who kind of went against his superiors and stuff like that and started helping out everybody, he wasn't there at the time. So I kind of feel like she just had bad timing.
But it ended with him being there. Like, he just got back and found out.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't remember that happening. But, I know that this new elf girl is going to be big, at least at the beginning of the series.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems like it's almost like a story arc just going to be encompassing her for the time being.
Yeah. And I hope that, not trying to say all elves are alike, but like the other elf that we've been with like this whole series, who's been waiting for her father, who's most likely dead, to show up. I hope she actually gets more development because...
Yeah, she kind of seems like she's just kind of there and not even like nothing's done with her. Yeah. The only thing you almost feel like is just like you're just supposed to feel sad about her, and that's all you're supposed to feel.
Yeah, so hopefully like she gets more story and like they don't kind of abandon her for a new elf. Yeah. But,
I think there's enough difference in the personality between the two of them that they shouldn't, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, I am looking forward to Rory because...
Oh, yeah. She's freaking awesome.
In the picture for this show, she looks like she's losing her mind in the background behind everybody. So...
well, come on, she's almost always losing her mind anyways.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me, like, remember me going crazy? And I'm like, do y'all see her behind you? So,
they're probably just like, they probably look back and went, it's just her. All right, let's just keep doing what we're doing.
So, hopefully they bring in another, most likely they're going to bring in a fire dragon because the new elf, her issue is a fire dragon. Yeah. And hopefully, because it's season 2 and they had a gap, they can put a little bit more budget into that dragon. Because the first scene was cool, but the dragon didn't look all that great. So hopefully they can, I don't know, throw some money at this new dragon and make it look cooler. But as far
it's the way you throw some money at the dragon and he'll be cool. So I just see like some guy just like with bills and being like, make it rain, make it rain.
And then you can just see the textures just get more and more crazy.
Oh,
it's so funny.
Just over the dragon and be like, make it rain. God.
But yeah, so oh, and one thing, they showed the king again. Like,
did they?
They showed him like with a crazy expression, and there was like a quick flash of him. I'm like, oh yeah, him, because at the end of this series, we weren't really dealing with the kingdoms all that much. The kingdom,
it's like it's almost like just a footnote, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like a big part of the reason why a lot of these characters have met together.
Yeah.
But it seems like at this point, it's more of just a footnote.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So,
okay. I mean, hopefully we find out a little bit more about that stuff, but I don't know.
yeah, because like the king, he basically used the Japanese military to kind of wipe out his enemies or people he didn't like, and then and he's like, okay, I'm done for now. I'm like, well, they showed him again in the trailer, so I'm like, is there something else he wants? I'm like, what is he gonna do now? Because his daughter is one of is friends with this
The military.
with the military now. And,
well, I mean, and it seems like they like at the end of the first season they were trying to negotiate peace.
Yeah.
So maybe he's going to be opposed to that because he's going to be like, "Hey, I still have a few people I need to get killed. Come on and kill them," or something. I don't know. Or maybe he'll use
because
as an excuse to band the rest of the kingdom together and be like, "We need to go kill them. So come on."
Yeah, because it looks like he is ashamed of his daughter, or just doesn't like her, or just I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's treating his daughter that well, and she's the one who's actually negotiating the peace. So I kind of feel like we're gonna find out what his stance is on that, and like you said, he might say, "No, I didn't want peace," or something. Yeah. So
you killed all these people. Well, you threw them at us.
Yeah.
Like, you killed all these people. We can't make peace with you. And it's like, well, okay.
But yeah.
Alright, so moving on with that one, I have one that I'm just going to say I'm curious about, because I haven't really seen much about it. The little poster thing that I saw for it, the picture for it, looked interesting, but I can't really say one way or the other. But Reikenzan Hoshikuzu-tachi no Utage. There we go. Ah, terrible to pronounce. All these long names. Everyone, stop doing all these long names. So, what is it? Since its founding year, 4233 of the 9 provinces calendar, the Spirit Sword Clan is producing first-class martial artist talent. 2,000 years later, the clan, which adheres to the principles of peace and spiritual development, seeks to find new disciples by holding a grand tournament. And one of the candidates is a 12-year-old named Wang Lu. That sounds interesting. I mean, maybe it's my Dragon Ball past getting to me, but I hear grand tournament, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure. We all know there's been at least a couple of those in the Dragon Ball series, but I mean, it looked like it could be interesting. To me, it's almost kind of like just a curiosity thing. I'm like, I want to see something about it first and find out whether or not it's going to be good as it seemed like it might be. But, and this one is also, surprisingly enough, also done by Studio Dean.
And they're doing a lot of shows this season.
They really are. So, I mean, they have it. To me, they have a good track record. So, I'm hopeful for them on this one as well. So,
okay. As of right now, that one didn't have a trailer, so
yeah,
I can't really say much as far as the animation. I'm looking at it. The guy
they did Kenshin.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. Two of the ones I like are Kenshin and Nura. Oh god, another one. Nura Hion no Mago. And that was with a half demon. Ooh, and Read or Die. Wow. Okay, yeah, they've got some good ones. I'm looking at them more now, so I'm like, hey, what y'all been doing? I never really take into consideration. Words do not want to come out right now. I never really take into consideration the studios a lot of times, unless they're like really, really something out there. Ooh,
yeah,
they did Log Horizon. They did Log Horizon too.
Yeah.
Hey. So I mean, again, they okay. So they have a good. With me, they have a good track record. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I've seen some good ones from them that I've liked. And so hopefully they can do something good with this one.
Okay. Well, no, as far as the it's looking at the hair, it kind of reminds me of a couple of shows that I've seen a long time ago, but that's just a hairstyle that a lot of different studios.
Are you talking about the girl in the background, the big wavy hair? Like, I mean, come on, that's kind of a staple almost.
Yeah, so like as soon as I see that, I'm thinking like Fushigi and Ayashi no Seres, but those were done by another studio. And then looking at the guy with his short hair and stuff like that, he looks like Edward Elric from.
He kind of does. I'll give you that one. He honestly kind of does. So
About an alchemist.
Yeah.
So it's like I have no idea what to think about this show. It's I'm like, yeah, Studio Dean. They've done a lot of the great shows. So I have no complaints about that. And from the story, I'm like, tournament, battle action show, maybe. I don't know.
I'm always good with some action.
Yep.
So. You give me some good fights and some good back and forth. I mean, what is? Oh, good lord! Now I'm thinking about something else. Because there's one in the current season that I've been watching and is really, really, really good. At least I've liked the. Oh, there it is. Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry.
Oh, yeah.
The battles in that one are amazing. I'm like, this is cool. Yeah. Like, the storyline's kind of blasé. It's got its moments, but it's the battles that I most, like, look forward to every time. I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing, because you got, like, the last one I just watched was with, like, a lightning person and an ice or water person, and the two of them going battling, and like lightning's flying everywhere, ice things are just popping out and just doing all sorts of craziness, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool.
Oh, actually, I'm mixing that up. There's two shows that are very similar to me, and one is that Rakudai Kishi, and then the other one is Asterix War.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, Asterix War, but no. Okay, I saw the first episode for that one, but I can't remember anything else, because I've watched most of Asterix War. But yeah, it's
see, as I was saying, it's battle sequences, and if you got a good battle, I mean, don't be wrong though, nothing is gonna top that. For me, top battle of this year has to be freaking Dungeon with the Minotaur.
Yes.
God, that battle was amazing.
Yes.
Oh my god, there has been nothing that I have seen, at least for my memory in this year, that has come close to that battle.
Yeah.
Oh. So. Anyways, moving on. We're gonna go off on a tangent here. I know we are. So moving on.
So let's see. So far, I'm done with all the continuations, and my new show that I am looking forward to is Prince of Stride. Yes, Prince of Stride Alternative. So
it's alternative. Okay, yeah, I see that one. I know what you're talking about.
So
that's another sports one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll just go ahead and say yeah. I'm not sure if this is a parkour / free running type of anime, or because they're running and it's a building behind them. If it was like a school track or something like that, I'd say it's like a track and field type of anime. But because I see a building, I'm thinking it's parkour. So this reminds
preview for that one. Did it have a good preview for it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's basically, it reminds me of Free because of a lot of the character, like Free had 4 main guys and this one apparently has 6. And when they showed the first 3, I'm like, this is Free but running. And then they showed another one. I'm like, okay, he's kind of like this person, but he's like half of this person, half of that person. And then they showed another one. And I'm like, okay, this is not Free anymore. And then they showed another one, and I'm like, okay, all the similarities of Free. I was like, no, but because it's not track and field, and it looks like he's gonna be running around buildings and all that kind of stuff. This reminds me a lot of Air Gear. So
Kind of. Like, I'm kind of watching it right now, and it seems like it could be interesting.
yeah,
This would be one of the ones I would be curious about, but I wouldn't be 100% sure I would like. Because if it started getting, and it kind of seems like in parts of the previews that it might get to that point where it's more about the interrelations between, the people and everything, I kind of would be like, because then we're going more into like slice of life.
Yeah.
And to me, you really got to do slice of life well in order for it to be something I would be willing to sit down and watch consecutively.
Mm-hmm. So you never watched Free, right? Because
no, I never watched Free.
Yeah. So basically, Free was like that. It was about the like camaraderie and relationships between the guys. And don't
get me wrong, if those of you out there like that, by all means, it's just not usually my cup of tea.
Yeah, and then when it was about sports, it was about sports, and oh my god, the water. So this reminds me of something very similar. So I'm looking forward to it because I really like Free. And so this reminds me of it's like a combination between Free and Air Gear, but running on buildings. And it looks great. I'm looking forward to it. It's Madhouse, so the animation is going to be like through the roof. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the animation did look pretty good, but
like they're putting all their money in One Punch Man, so I don't know if they like ran out of money.
Which is amazing.
Used all their money on that. They're not gonna have any for this, but
it's ridiculously amazing.
Yeah,
we are definitely gonna be talking about that one for a while. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. Madhouse is great. Looks like Free and Air Gear running on buildings, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, for me, I guess the next one I want to talk about is once again another fantasy one. Haitu Gensou no Grimgar.
Grimgar.
This really seems intriguing. It almost seems, I mean, again, just as Big Deal there was talking about with the whole, fantasy ones and this sort of premise kind of coming out. It really seems to take a lot of this into effect because for this one, when the main person awakens, he's in the dark. He doesn't know where he is, why he's here, and where he came from. So complete memory loss. Around him, there are several men and women who have the same circumstances. Together, they advance forward away from the darkness, and a world where they never seen before called Grimgar spreads out before them. Memories, money, special powers, this is the reality. We who have known no one of the others things have attained. So, I mean, they seem like they're just like, they fell into this world where, here we go, magic and, other things exist. And this time, though, the difference from this one is that there's multiple people. It's a world that they're going into, but it's not just one person who just falls into this world. It's a group of people, so they're separated. They don't know where they came from. They don't know where they're at. They're separated, but all of a sudden they have these abilities and everything, from the sound of it, it looks like. And they gotta survive. They gotta, learn to do whatever they can do. So, again, has some good fight sequences. And for this one, I almost would be okay with finding, if they had some more of the interrelationship type things going on here, but I think there's going to be a lot of good action in this one, so I'm highly looking forward to that and seeing what happens and what they do, as long as there's not a huge sequence of the whole like training kind of thing where they're like, we got to learn how to do our stuff, and I'm like, okay, I get that, can we speed that along a little bit? So
from the synopsis it says men and women. And I look at the picture and I'm like, I see boys and girls. So
yeah, but it's anime, so yeah. They could look like they're 14 and really be like in their 20s.
So with that, there's two different things. So it's like, if it's the age that anime usually takes place, it you're around 14 or something like that. And that's another that kind of throws it right into that same genre where all the other shows that we've named for a couple shows ago will take place, and that's perfectly fine. Looking at the trailer, the animation looks amazing.
It is A1, so
yeah. So I can't remember. Oh yeah, and then they're the ones who also did Gate. So yeah. I don't know if they're gonna be throwing all their money at Gate or they're like splitting it, but they'll be done at the same time. So I don't know. But with that, I can't remember what that in the trailer that dude was fighting some little green creature, and I can't remember if he like stabbed it or something like that, because there's a lot of shows that are coming out that are like detective type shows, and there's a lot of like violence and stuff like that. So I watch all these trailers.
He stabbed it.
Okay.
It was like a goblin thing that he ended up like stabbing it in the neck.
Yeah. So
At least that's what it looked.
yeah, so from that fight scene, pieces of that fight scene that we saw in the trailer, I'm like, looking at the picture and looking at the synopsis, I'm like, okay, it's another one of those fantasy shows. Looking at the trailer, I'm like, boom, animation quality for that fight scene is all the way up there. So absolutely watching it, highly looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
So that's no problem with that. But as far as the synopsis, like as far as the story goes, what I'm wondering is it gonna be men and women, and we end up just following the younger characters because that's what it looks like in the picture, or is it gonna be like the other show Platoon, where it was men and women, where like they were like college age and it's not high school age.
It seems like that. I'm kind of like rewatching it just a little bit and kind of looking at the characters a little more closely. And like the guy that they have who's like at one point looks like he's cooking, he looks older.
Okay, so that's the only thing I'm worried about, because I can't remember what the characters look like in the trailer, but
and there's like two of the guys there that are doing it and are like standing on a balcony or whatever, and they look older.
Okay.
One of them has like a pair of glasses on, and yeah,
so I'm already looking forward to it because of the animation quality. But now that you said they're like actual older characters, then yeah.
There might be like a few of the younger, but it looks like there are some older, more like hopefully more intelligent and wiser characters involved. Yeah. But I'm sure they have to have a few of the young just to, have that hot-headed one who's going to rush into things, and they're going to be like, wait, stop it!
Yeah.
You're being silly and stupid! Stop it! So. But, yeah.
Definitely looking forward to it. So, another show that I am looking for is in German. And
in German? I've never heard that show.
Is Schwarzesmarken. This is a mech anime, which I keep saying that it's not my genre, but
you keep. I say that and I don't watch them. You say that and you go and watch them,
and I keep finding ones that I do like. So if it's good, I'ma like it. But if it's run of the mill, then I don't. So I can't say that I don't like. I can't say that mech's not my genre anymore. I just have to say I'm picky with mech genre. So.
See, and still mech's. If you're picky, I'm like super picky.
Yeah. So
like the last mech one I can remember liking was the one with the dude on the sub. They had that stealth sub or whatever, and you know what I'm talking about. And had like the female commander. She was really young. I think the second season was called Fumofu.
Oh, Full Metal Panic!
Yeah, there we go, Full Metal Panic.
So
that was the last one that I remembered liking a lot.
So with that, there's Full Metal Panic, and then Full Metal Panic Fumofu, which is the spin-off silly series, and then that main character was put into that anime that took place at the amusement park. That was awesome. But then before that, second raid came out.
Yep.
And then now they confirmed third raid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be watching that one.
I heard that.
That would be the one that you will definitely catch me watching.
Yeah, I heard that from somebody. I can't remember who it was, whether if it was Pataku or Anifix, but I heard it from somebody, or the other anime guys that I listen to. But yes, third raid is supposed to be coming out. So with this one, it reminds me of two other anime that I've seen before, and I really like those. So I'm like, hey, maybe it'll be just like those two. And those two series were Blue Gender and Move Love Alternative.
See, I saw Blue Gender, and
Yeah.
I was okay with that one, but I wasn't like overly enthralled with it.
Yeah.
But I never saw that second one, so.
Yeah, so with Blue Gender, I watched that back when I was in high school. So I was like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, like a decade ago. And I remember it because it was one of the first, like...
Watching just the very beginning of the trailer for this one, I can see where you got Blue Gender from. Because I'm like, oh, look! Bugs.
Yes.
Giant monstrosities that need... Wow, that's a lot of blood.
Yeah. So... as far as fighting bugs and being very violent and everything, I really liked Blue Gender back in the day because it was right when I first started watching anime, and like having like feeling for the characters where you're like, oh my god, everything's going wrong, the world's ending, all we got is a couple more bullets and there's like a billion monsters coming after us, and it's the tension and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
watching the trailer and seeing those first fight scenes with all the violence and all that kind of stuff reminds me of Blue Gender. And then the way that the creatures moved, because they're CG and they're not like super high quality like the ones from the one you said with UFO table, God Eater. Like how the monsters, like they run like this really fast, and they're kind of stiff. So the monsters in from what I can remember of Blue Gender Move Love Alternative ran like that too. And that show was really cool because a lot of like horrible situations happened, and like lots of characters were lost, and people like lost a lot of people that were close to them. So it's also like the desperate, everybody's dying, we got to get out of here, kind of save the world thing. So I'm looking forward to that one too, because it reminded me of two shows that I really liked, and the animation looks okay. And I say okay because I'm including in 3D. Like, it isn't God Eater, so I don't see it being, and it isn't Ajin, so I don't see it being like 3D with really fluid movement and animation that matches the 2D. So I'm going to give it a shot because it reminds me of two shows, but I'm not expecting a whole lot because of the way it looks.
Gotcha. Well, you know you're going to catch me probably watching that one because I'm just not as fan of the mix. Next one for me is, oddly enough, another Gate anime, and it's like, really y'all going for the Gates or something? But it's Divine Gate. Yeah. Hey, one with a short title, and I can say it well. Yay! But Divine Gate looks interesting. It has an interesting premise. When the Divine Gate opened, the living world, the heavens, and the underworld became connected. That automatically right there, I'm like, that sounds interesting. Ushering in an era of chaos where desires and conflict intersect. So basically, world went into absolute pure chaos, and they formed a council to restore peace, and they just say that the Divine Gate became an urban legend after that. So it's like, what, did it just go away? Did people forget about it? I mean, what the heck? But in that world, boys and girls deemed fit by the World Council are gathered. They are the ones who aim to reach the gate for their personal objectives. Those who reach the gate can remake the world. That just sounds freaking awesome and epic. And the picture that they have for it shows people wielding like elemental powers. You got one person with fire, another person with ice, another person looks like wind, another person looks like darkness. Yeah, I'm like, and then the trailer for it was pretty intense too. It had a lot of things going for it. There were, and to me, I can see that this is probably going to be, there are going to be a lot of those intersecting moments of you have to figure out why the characters are doing what they're doing, what their personal motivations and goals are, because obviously they've said that in the actual synopsis there. I mean, so obviously that's gonna be an important thing, the reason why everyone's fighting to get to the gate first. Um, so I'm curious. It's got my curiosity about it. It had some good animation to it. It's from Studio Pierrot, so I hope it's got, huh?
Naruto.
Yep, Naruto. Yep. So I mean, it had some good animation quality to it. It looked interesting. Synopsis is interesting, and it's a little bit different from the other things that I've been looking at. And I'm hopeful that it'll spice things up a bit and have some good stuff. So again, I know it's probably going to have a lot of the intermingling. You got to figure out everyone's backstories and all that stuff. But hopefully it makes you. It actually makes you feel for it, and that adds that much more into the anime itself, and it doesn't just drag it out. Hopefully.
Okay. So for this show, I looked at the trailer and it looks pretty good. The studio that was making it, they're a well-established studio.
Oh yeah.
So I have no problems with that. Because of the studio that it's being done by, and because of the way the story looks like it's gonna go, I'd say it might be a couple cours long, but
it kind of seems like it might.
Yeah. And then because of the stakes that the synopsis says, or there's like the heavens, the underworld, and all this stuff collides, and then it becomes a myth, or wait, what is it?
Becomes a urban legend.
Urban legend. I'm like you said, what happened? Usually when worlds collide, like, people remember that. So.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
there's a lasting effect that happens with that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I'm like, how huge are these stakes? And like, if somebody reaches the gate, they remake the world. I'm like, that's kind of big too. So
yeah,
I'm just intrigued. I'm like, what? What do you mean? So I don't know. The synopsis got my attention. Looks pretty good. So I'll check it out. So next show for me, actually the last show for me is it's long. It's
long ones.
Shouwa Genroku Rakugo Shinjuu. Yeah.
There you go. I think you nailed it. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, it's another show by Studio Dean. And
really putting it out there, huh?
Yeah, this is more of a slice of life type show, more realistic. It's basically a story about it says a mature prisoner, which I don't really understand what that means.
It's older.
Yeah, but older, like, if you think of mature now, you're thinking like 50s, 60s. But I'm guessing back in that time period, maybe life expectancy wasn't that high. So maybe he's like in his 30s or 40s or something like that. So that threw me off a bit because from the trailer, nobody looks mature for our standards. And then it says it was back in the 60s and 70s, which is still, it shouldn't be, I don't know. But so basically there's a former prisoner who gets out on good behavior, and he ends up working in this kind of like a theater. There you go. Like
one of those things, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking theater like movies, but no, theater like Broadway productions, but not that big. It's the Japanese style where it's you go into this theater and it's like a comical storytelling type of theater, and I've seen a show like this, and it was live action drama, and it was called Tiger and Dragon, and I'm not sure how similar the stories are because I saw most, if not all, of Tiger and Dragon, like maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. So I don't remember the story completely, but I do remember somebody having a gift for storytelling, and he actually goes there and works there out of like some weird circumstances. So this story reminds me of that, and there's one part where the person telling the story is kind of freaking out and like looks really, really nervous, and I'm not sure if it's because he's nervous or he's like acting out that character who's supposed to be really nervous, like really, really well. So when I saw him acting that way, I'm like, what's wrong with him? Usually when people act like that, they like reach for something and stab somebody. So I was getting worried for him, and then he like gets out of it.
Flashbacks of when they cry, huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it's Studio Dean. So he like snaps out of it and like does something, and then the audience laughs, and I'm like, oh, this is a play. I'm like, holy crap, that was awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. I guess the genre that really gets me is more realistic, like type of genre. So whereas like I don't want to say like all younger characters are bad or like super abundant or anything, but it's these shows stand out to me.
So you go for more of the conventional, more realistic.
Yeah, realistic older characters. Like,
whereas I'm more of the fantasy, just kind of playful with if it's got really good fights, I'm like dead set in. Like Overlord had like amazing fights.
Yeah, Gangsta. That's the show I was thinking about. Gangsta. It's like I looked at that one. I'm like, oh, older characters. It has a bit of action, but it's more realistic. I'm like, oh, I definitely want to try that out. So for this one, because I've seen Tiger and Dragon, and this looks really similar to it, and then the trailer like really got me. So I'm like, yeah, definitely gonna check it out.
Did you ever finish Overlord, by the way?
I want to say yes.
Just side note, since we were talking about that, I'm like, I just thought about it. Like, have you actually watched all that? I don't remember if you did or not.
I know he crushed the crazy girl, and then he had to fight the vampire girl, and then...
Yeah, the vampire girl fight was the last one.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it. I finished it.
Yeah, because that last fight, that almost topped the whole fight with the Minotaur fight, but because that last fight was just amazing. Anyways, off on a random tangent there, but last show for me, and it's very funny that it's the last show for me considering what we were just talking about like 2 shows ago, because this is from a studio that did Full Metal Panic and Free and a bunch of other ones we were just talking about just a moment ago, and I'm like, oh wow, but because it's done by Kyoto Animation, and this one is called Musaigen no Phantom World.
Okay.
For this one, story takes place in near future in a world born of human imagination. That automatically has me going, oh, human imagination, really? Because human imagination can encompass a lot. Mm-hmm. What humans would call ghosts or monsters appear, and they come to be called phantoms. Main character, long name, probably not going to pronounce it. He's the first year at Hosaya Academy, along with his upperclassman, something else I'm not going to pronounce, who fights phantoms with the ability of Spirit of 5 Elements.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm already like, this looks interesting. And then apparently they come to find out the truth of this world. So for me, I'm just like, yeah, that's just gonna be cool.
Yeah. So I was just checking out the trailer again, and there's a show I forgot to put on my list because it looks amazing.
It does.
A lot of the characters reminded me of Chunibyo as far as their eyes and like their expressions and everything. And
that's because they had A1 Studio or the Kyoto Studios did Chunibyo.
yeah. So I'm like, so it's in the same vein as far as imagination and all that kind of stuff because that's what happened in Chunibyo. So I'm looking forward to this one. The one thing I do I'm worried about is that little genie thing, that little tiny person.
Oh, come on, they look adorable.
Yeah, some like little companion animals and everything. That's like my least favorite parts of shows. And I don't know because it's not an animal. It's
If you
actually
have
like
to have a human imagination, it's gonna be something like that. I mean,
yeah. So that's the only thing that I'm like, oh. But everything else looks amazing, and I'm looking forward to it because people they've done some of my other favorite shows. So
yeah,
see if I
definitely.
can add this to my list.
Oh yeah, that's when I saw that, especially with the synopsis for it, and when it was going talking about human imagination and stuff like that, and the craziness I saw in the trailer, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be cool.
Well, that's all we have for now.
For now.
Yeah. This has been Big D and Shade, and it's been our winter 2016 anime preview.
Yippers.
And you can contact us on Facebook with Takoyaki Anime and Twitter with Takoyaki Anime. And we both have my anime list page, which I'll put down in the description. And we will catch up with y'all next time. Bye.